Having read several productivity books and deep dived into productivity YouTube, there are a huge number of productive morning routines out there to try. And a lot of them are really motivating and inspiring and profess to be quite productive. But I've personally found that adopting those routines is incredibly impractical for the long term, particularly if you have any kind of difference in life circumstances compared to those people promoting those routines. Today, I want to talk about everyday, low barrier ways that you can start a productive day. Maybe we'll call them productivity setup habits. And I'll chat through some examples and tell you exactly why these habits can set you up for a productive day, including the real reason why you should make your bed when you wake up. So I'm not going to be talking about organizing your to-dos or prioritizing your tasks. I'm going to be talking about how you can set your day up in productive motion. I've definitely noticed that my general feelings, attitude, and outputs for a day are heavily influenced by how I started. So I've started thinking about my day like this. And yes, this is a chemistry reaction profile, but I think it demonstrates the idea of productivity inertia. If you wake up and you aren't productive, you will stay that way. But if you wake up and put some work in by starting to check off some productive tasks, you'll start to build productive momentum. And once you get past this point, you'll maintain that momentum and be productive for the rest of the day. And you could also think of this like pushing a boulder up to the top of the hill. You've got to put a lot of work in initially, but once you get to the top and it starts rolling, it continues to roll effortlessly on your part. So once you overcome that barrier, it's very easy for it to keep moving. And I think this also goes for productivity. Once you build that momentum, it's very easy to continue being productive for the rest of the day. Now, this barrier is always here whenever you wake up, and you need to overcome it ASAP so that you can let that momentum take over. So it's the micro habits and small steps that you're taking on waking up that really affect how far you get pushing that boulder up to the top of that hill, and whether you build enough momentum to have a productive day or not. So when you wake up, you want to minimize the time it takes to get to the top of that hill and build that critical mass of productive momentum that will carry on throughout the day. Some of these productive routines, like your 5 a.m. starts and your cold water plunges, require a huge mental and orchestrational effort. And once completed, they're going to take you far higher than that summit that's needed to have that productive day. But actually, if you're normalizing these routines into what sets you up for a productive day, you're making it incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to reach that new high barrier if for whatever reason you can't do that morning routine. So I think there's huge value in defining what sets you up for a productive day within the parameters of what you can achieve before you head out the front door. And if it's easier to be productive, that means more productive days, and that means a better relationship between yourself and your outputs, which will snowball into a healthier outlook and way of existence with being productive. So in setup, we need to build momentum up to this critical point as quickly as possible. So the best tasks to start building productive momentum are ones that are quick to complete and require minimal brain power. Let's focus in on what you can do after waking up. Things like making your bed, preparing some kind of food to fuel you for the day, getting dressed, preparing some food to have with you on the go, and brushing your teeth. And at the moment, you might just class them as part of your morning routine. And these are small steps, but they hold so much power as to how we feel and go about the day. And these steps do have added benefits. You know, the food fuels you through the day, so you're not going to get disrupted midway through because your stomach's growling. And a killer outfit can give you an incredible amount of confidence. And while these are valuable contributing factors to a productive day, they're really kind of spillover benefits. But they are most valuable for how they build your productive momentum as you complete them. And the real reason you should make your bed is not because it feels good or it's nice to get into a bed that's been made when you come to go to sleep later. It's because it is probably the fastest thing that you can do on waking to start building that productive momentum. And absolutely, you can do more and add to this routine. I know a lot of people like to work out in the morning, but whatever you're adding into your routine, if there's any kind of variability in whether you will or won't be able to complete them each day, you should see them as additional and not the deciding factors as to whether you have a productive day or not. Now, I'm one of those people that works out in the mornings for the most part, and on the days when I take a rest day, I find it incredibly hard to build that momentum to set up for a productive day, because pre-wired into my brain that doing the workout is one of the things that I have to do to set up for that productive day. So I've elevated that activation energy or the height of the hill that I have to overcome by having that workout in my morning routine. So as soon as I take it away and it's an additional nice to have, I'm able to still set up for a productive day with or without the workout in the mix. I'm curious what your experiences are with changing up your morning routine and how that impacts whether you feel like you've had a productive day or not. Let me know in the comments. So by switching my framing of a lot of the tasks that I classed as my morning routine to tasks that set me up for a productive day, and making sure that they're ones that I can get through pretty quickly and are not subject to too much variation, I can set myself up for a productive day most of the time. Now, some of these may already be habits, but as they evolve into habits, you'll start to see that effort to start building productive momentum decreases. So it's almost like that hill or the activation energy you're needing to put in to get to that point where you will be productive for the rest of the day decreases too. Until ultimately you don't even have to think about doing them. You're doing them on autopilot. And so you're building up that momentum to be productive every day without even having to think about it. And so whatever tasks you're doing as part of that morning routine that ultimately set you up and prepare you for the day, shift your thinking to see them as those productive setup tasks. And the good news is that building your productive momentum to start a productive day is as easy as making your bed when you wake up. So give it a try. Thanks very much and hope to see you again soon.